Hey there, Grade 10. Welcome to this explainer. I am genuinely so excited to be your guide today as we unlock the literal magic of filmmaking. You know, we watch movies and short films all the time, right? And honestly, it's pretty easy to think that filmmakers just point a camera and poof, capture magic totally by chance. But the reality? It is way more fascinating than that. Filmmaking is this deliberate, amazing process of transforming a written script into a visual story. It's a massive mashup of storytelling, creativity, technical skills, and teamwork. So today, diving into your MATATAG curriculum, we're going to build your very own filmmaker's toolkit step by step. We're going to unpack the absolute key concepts you need to take those awesome creative ideas of yours and actually turn them into a reality on screen. Let's get into it.
Okay, here's the game plan for our time together today. 1. The stages of filmmaking. 2. Pre-production, the blueprint. 3. Essential filmmaking equipment. 4. Techniques, shots, and angles. 5. Teamwork and production roles. And finally, 6. Ethical storytelling and recap.
All right, Section 1, the stages of filmmaking, from script to screen.
So, getting a story from a script onto a screen, it's a journey. And understanding that journey is really your first big step to becoming a filmmaker. Because every single successful film out there, whether it's a 2-minute school project or some massive Hollywood blockbuster, it follows these 3 major stages. Step 1 is pre-production. This is all the intense planning that happens before you even think about touching a camera. Step 2 is production. This is the fun part, right? It's where you actually record the scenes. And step 3 is post-production, where you edit the footage and polish it into a finished story. Now here's the catch. Each stage relies entirely on the one before it. Like falling dominoes, if you rush or skip your planning, your production is going to be incredibly chaotic, and your editing, it'll be a total nightmare. Taking the time to respect each and every step, well, that's the real secret to a great final output.
Notice how distinct the tasks are across these different phases. In pre-production, your job is nailing down the script, finding your actors, securing locations, and prepping your gear. You are actively solving problems before they even have a chance to happen. Then, boom! During production, your entire focus shifts to capturing the video and sound. You aren't writing during this phase, you're purely executing. And finally, post-production. That's where all the puzzle pieces come together. You're editing video, mixing audio, throwing in that perfect background music. So really, it's 3 very different mindsets, all working toward one common goal. While we're looking at the production stage, let's just make sure we have our technical vocabulary locked in. So every single video clip you record on your camera or your phone, that's called footage. Simple enough. But sometimes, you record a scene and maybe someone messes up a line, or a dog barks in the background, or the lighting just looks weird. When you record that exact same shot again to get it right, that is called a retake. And listen, don't be afraid of retakes. Getting the best possible footage is exactly what makes that final editing stage successful.
Moving on to Section 2, Pre-production, the blueprint. Why planning is everything.
A lot of people out there think filmmaking begins the second you press that red record button. But the truth, most of the heavy lifting happens well before that. Your script is your blueprint. Think about building a house for a second. You would never just start nailing random pieces of wood together without a blueprint, right? I mean, you'd end up with a roof sitting right on your front lawn. Well, filmmaking is exactly the same. Every scene, the dialogue, the camera shots, the action, it all has to be based on what's written in your script. Without that solid foundation, your actual filming day is going to be confusing, totally unorganized, and honestly, just incredibly stressful.
Let's look at the real, practical benefits of this stage. Picture this. You arrive at your filming location, let's say it's the school library. But wait, your actors don't know their lines, someone forgot the main prop at home, and oops, you don't even have the librarian's permission to film there. That is an absolute disaster. But careful pre-production prevents literally all of this. It stops delays, it assigns everyone super clear responsibilities so nobody is just standing around looking confused, and it solves those headaches before they ever happen. Ultimately, doing the hard work in pre-production drastically improves the quality of the final film you're going to show your audience.
Section 3. Essential filmmaking equipment. Using what you have. It's super easy to look at professional filmmakers and think, man, I need incredibly expensive gear to tell a good story. I want to stop you right there and reassure you. You absolutely do not. You really just need to know how to use what you already have. Let's compare the 2 tools you're most likely going to use. On one side, we've got smartphones. They're incredible. They're powerful, portable, and pretty much everyone has one. Plus, you can shoot and edit the whole thing on the same device. Yeah, okay, they have smaller sensors, but honestly, with some good lighting, they look fantastic.
On the flip side, we have DSLR cameras. These are the ones with the big, detachable lenses. They give you that gorgeous, cinematic, blurred background, what we in the biz call a shallow depth of field. They are sharper for sure, but they also require you to actually learn manual settings like focus and exposure. But here is the biggest takeaway for today. Good filmmaking is not about the price tag of your camera. It is about your creativity. It's about keeping the camera steady, framing your subject well, and capturing crisp, clear audio. Trust me on this. Technique beats technology every single time.
Section 4. Techniques, shots, and angles. The visual language.
So, in a written story, you're using adjectives and verbs to describe things, right? Well, in filmmaking, your camera itself is the storyteller. It's your visual language. Choosing the right camera shot is literally how you direct your audience's attention. Take an extreme long shot, for example. That's perfect for the very beginning of a scene. It shows a super wide view, maybe the whole school courtyard, so the audience knows exactly where we are. Then, as characters start having a conversation, you'd punch into a medium shot, framing them from the waist up. It feels natural, kind of like we're just standing there chatting with them. But what if a character is, I don't know, hiding a secret note in the palm of their hand? That's when you use an extreme close-up. By focusing super close on that tiny detail, you are yelling at the audience, hey, pay attention to this, it's really important. You're completely controlling the flow of information just by adjusting how close the camera is.
Now, what's really wild is how camera angles manipulate our emotions without a single word of dialogue being spoken. If you place the camera up high, physically looking down at your actor, that's a high angle. It psychologically makes them look smaller, they feel weaker, or vulnerable to the audience. But if you do the exact opposite, put the camera way down low, looking up at them, a low angle, they suddenly appear towering, they look powerful, imposing, and important. Or maybe you use a bird's eye view, looking straight down from the ceiling. That gives the audience this cool, overarching perspective of everything happening in the room. The angle you choose completely changes how your audience feels about the character on screen. It's almost like a magic trick.
And hey, we absolutely cannot talk about visual language without talking about lighting. Lighting is what creates the mood, whether you're going for a spooky, scary mystery or a bright, happy comedy. The basic go-to professional setup is called three-point lighting. Actually, fun fact, this is exactly what makes your favorite vloggers and YouTubers look so ridiculously good on camera. First up, you have your key light. This is your main, brightest light hitting your subject. Second is the fill light. This is a softer light, usually placed on the opposite side just to fill in any really dark, harsh shadows on the person's face. And finally, you have the backlight, which shines right on the back of the actor's head and shoulders. Why do that? Because it gives them this nice glowing edge and physically separates them from the background, making the whole image pop and look super three-dimensional.
All right, moving into Section 5. Teamwork and production roles. The crew.
Here's the truth. Filmmaking is definitely not a solo sport. It is a highly collaborative art form, and it requires a dedicated crew. Let's look at a few of these specific roles. The director, they're the captain of the ship. They lead the production, guide the actors, and make sure the vision of the script is actually coming to life. The camera person, well, they focus entirely on capturing beautifully framed, rock-steady shots. Then you've got the production designer, who is obsessing over the visual world. What clothes are the actors wearing? What props need to be on that desk? Now look, in a grade 10 student production, you are obviously not going to have a Hollywood crew of 50 people. One person might be the director and the editor, while somebody else handles the camera and all the props. And you know what? That is perfectly okay. The only thing that truly matters is that responsibilities are clearly assigned so everyone knows their exact job when they show up on set.
Speaking of showing up on set, let me ask you a quick question. When you're filming, why wouldn't you just shoot scene 1, and then scene 2, and then scene 3, right in the exact order of the story? I mean, it seems completely logical, doesn't it?
Well, the answer comes down to a little industry secret called scene sequencing. Think about it. If scene 1 is in the classroom, scene 2 is out at the covered court, and scene 3 is all the way back in the classroom, packing up your whole team and all your equipment, moving it and setting it up again wastes massive amounts of time. Instead, filmmakers sequence their scenes for pure efficiency. You film all the classroom scenes first. It doesn't matter where they happen in the final story. Then once you're done, you move your entire crew over to the covered court and film all those scenes. You just put them back in the correct story order later during post-production. Honestly, learning to do this is an absolute game changer. It will save you so much time.
Finally, Section 6, Ethical Storytelling and Recap, the responsibility.
So, we've talked about the tools, the cool techniques, the team dynamics. But right now, we have to talk about the absolute most critical part of your toolkit. Because as a filmmaker, you actually hold a lot of power. And with that power comes real responsibility. Think about it. All those technical skills we just learned, They mean absolutely nothing if a film exploits or misrepresents people. As a student filmmaker, you must always ask for permission before recording anyone or any location. It's just basic respect. You have to protect the privacy and dignity of your subjects, steer clear of stereotypes, and make sure you are representing people fairly and inclusively. You even need to think deeply about how your camera angles or your editing choices might affect how the people in your film are perceived. A truly great filmmaker respects different cultures and beliefs and makes sure everyone involved is treated fairly, exactly how you would want to be treated. So, as we wrap things up here, let's just quickly recap the 5 core practices for creating a meaningful short film exactly as they are outlined in your MATATAG curriculum. Step 1. Plan carefully during pre-production. Remember, your script is your blueprint. Step 2. Work as a team, sharing those responsibilities clearly. Step 3. Use proper filming techniques. Really think about your lighting, your shots, and your angles to tell the story visually. Step 4. Edit carefully to polish all that hard work. And step 5. Always film responsibly and ethically.
Grade 10. You've made it. You now understand the full journey from script to screen. You know how to maximize whatever camera you have, whether it's a smartphone or a fancy DSLR. You understand the visual language of the camera, the huge importance of teamwork, and the vital duty of ethical storytelling. So, I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. You have the tools, you have the team, and you have the blueprint. So, what story will you tell the world? I seriously cannot wait to see the incredible films you are going to create. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and happy filmmaking.